Knicks family, welcome back to the God of the Knicks podcast. I'm your host, Apollo Reed. I'm here with my co-host, Rick the Ruler, and today we have a special guest, my boy, Cody Reynolds of the Knicks Fan TV. Knicks Fan TV, I almost said it. The Frozen Envelope on Facebook group as well. Shout out to my guys over there. But how you doing, man?
I'm good. How y'all?
Good. Rick, how you feeling, man? You holding
I
up?
mean, nah, man. I'm sad. You know, end of the year last year. Talking about we there, and then to have a season like this is embarrassing.
Very super embarrassing, bro. So yeah, Knicks lose tonight, 115 to 110 in the game that
100.
115 to 100. I don't know why I keep saying 110. I guess I really wanted the game to be that close, but
It's better.
just trying to make myself feel better about it. But yeah, we lose to the Miami Heat in the game we probably knew we were gonna lose. You know what I mean? But the way it was looking in the beginning, we're kind of confident. But at the end of the day, these guys can't keep a lead for anything, and that's just what they do best. But let's get into the numbers.
Not keeping a lead is what they do best. What's going on here?
It's what they do best, bro. It's kind of like a trademark at this point. So yeah, interesting night. I mean, the only excitement you could have in this game outside of RJ scoring the way he did was the fact that you got to see guys like Jericho Sims and Deuce McBride early.
Only if you didn't blink.
Only yeah.
I
As
was
soon as you blank, Deuce was out of there. Well, Jericho came in a few times.
Yeah, he was in there for a bit.
He was in shit. It was encouraging for Jericho because he was the first guy off the bench, and Nerlens was there. He was available. Taj was there and available, but the first guy off the bench was Jericho Sims, and it was kind of the theme tonight. Was like the young guys was the theme in a way. Like I said, we saw McBride. Maybe that had a lot to do with Quentin Grimes being out there for 14 seconds, and what's a subluxation of his patella, which basically means that his kneecap shifted out of position to the outside of his knee. Typically is where it goes, but shout out to him. Prayers for Grimes. Hopefully he's not out for too long. I think the recovery time for that is about 4 to 6 weeks for the average person. So we'll see how that works for him. I'm one who's had numerous knee injuries playing basketball, so I completely understand that he needs to take his time coming back. But in that we got to see a little bit of Miles McBride, and we did see a lot of Jericho Sims tonight. So let's start with RJ, of course. Let's just start there. 13 to 22 from the field, above 50%. 6 for 11 from the 3-point line, above 50%. 14 to 22 from the free throw line. And I think that was the underlying issue with RJ tonight. As usual, actually. Was just the missed free throws. You miss 8, you get to the line 22 times and you miss 8 of them. Listen, if he made all 8, we still would have lost. But regardless, you want to see him get over 50, I'm sure. And I saw him mouth it to Mitch at one point. He said, "I'm going for 50." So, I know he really wanted to get that 50 tonight, but he ended up with 46, 9 rebounds, 2 assists. Rick, tell me what you saw from RJ tonight. How you feel about the way he was rocking out there?
I mean, I feel like he had a lot to prove. He was out a couple of games and he wanted to come back and like really show people he's back. And I feel like he did that.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing I felt like he struggled with is dealing with Jimmy Butler. And, there's no fault to that. A lot of people can't handle Jimmy Butler. I still think he's a decent defender. I just think Jimmy Butler is a very crafty player.
Mm-hmm.
So missing free throws is nothing new. I feel like the amount that he made was pretty impressive based on just what he's been doing. So I have no complaints outside of that.
Mm-hmm.
I like what I saw. Yeah.
That's good. It's good. How about you, Cody? How you feel about what RJ was doing tonight?
I mean, I love RJ personally. I mean, I'm a player on the Knicks, but I mean,
same.
he RJ with 9 rebounds, though that's great for him, that's not good for the Knicks. I mean, he should not lead our team in rebounds.
Nope.
So I mean, seeing that is what catches my eye the most, even with the points, just for the simple fact that, I mean, where are we missing something?
Right.
I mean, big man they really has Bam, and yeah, Bam's a beast, and I think he had 16 rebounds tonight, but there's no reason why a 6'7" guard, 6'6" guard should be leading our team in rebounds.
Right. Yeah, he had 16 rebounds tonight, and then Kyle Lowry had 9. Jesus, come on, guys. It's I don't want to look at that anymore. But anyway, continue, Cody.
Yeah, I mean, that pretty much sums it up for me. The free throws is definitely a problem. I mean, to shoot 22, that's an accomplishment to get to the line that many times.
Yeah.
You should not miss 8 of those. I mean, that's just not acceptable, especially for a guy that is as hot as he is from the field at that point in time, too. I mean, carry your momentum to the line. So, I mean, that's it. And if he really wanted to go for 50, he should be in the gym tonight practicing those free throws.
Yeah, and I think the kind of guy RJ is, that's probably what he's gonna do. He's not gonna just be okay with whatever, with the way it ended tonight. I'm sure he probably feels like there was those free throws, even if he made 4 of them, it could have shifted the momentum a little bit in their favor. And maybe they wouldn't have lost by 15, probably would have lost by 3, maybe. But regardless, I know that RJ is the kind of guy, he takes that stuff to heart. Like when he slammed his fist on the chair when he got his 4th foul. And you like to see that he got emotional. And I think it wasn't because of the foul call. I just know that he wanted to be in the game and he wanted to continue it. You know what I mean? Because he knows how rhythm is. You can lose rhythm, you can lose your spark when you're not on the floor. So I understand him being upset. He took a step out, came back in, sat on the bench, and composed himself. And that's kind of what you want to see. He shows a lot of quality leadership qualities. I flip the words around. He shows a lot of leadership qualities. And that's what you want to see from someone who's 21 years old. I think he's only the second Knick in history to score 40 at under 21 years old, or 21 and under. So, he's one of the only guys that have ever done that. So hopefully there's more of that to come in the future. But yeah, that's probably the most positive you're going to hear us tonight. So let's get on to my man Cody's favorite player, Julius Randle.
Yeah, that guy.
That guy. So Julius Randle tonight was 2 for 15 from the field. 2 for 15.
It sounds like he took 2 good shots.
13 of them were terrible, I guarantee you. 0 for 4 from the 3-point line. He was 7 for 8 from the free throw line. I mean, that's nice. I mean, it's the only reason why he had 11 points. 8 rebounds, 8 assists. At least he was doing that. That's the only encouraging thing, is that he wasn't out there just shooting. You still getting, of course, like Cody said, you want to see him with more than 8 rebounds if you're not out there getting points. You're out there for 35 minutes. Let me see more than 8 rebounds from you if you can't score. 8 assists though, and 4 turnovers, which is around his normal.
This is what I'm saying. Does he not average 4 turnovers a game?
Yeah.
Every time we talk about this, I look and he has 4 turnovers.
Yes, 4 turnovers.
And he gets them the exact same way. He jumps in the air and throws it at no one.
Yeah.
That one, there was a sequence where I think it was like 2 plays going into the half, back to back, where the crowd is rocking. RJ had a few good plays. They had some good defensive plays. And he comes down, he makes one bad turnover. They go back and score. He comes down again and he throws it right to, I think it was like Kyle Lowry. And that's like, dude, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing?
Cody, what's his name? Caleb Martin in transition. Yeah, he just walked right into the pass.
Oh, it was Caleb. Yeah. Caleb Martin. Yep. And it was like, what are you doing?
He wasn't looking.
I really don't understand. Sometimes he is very, very frustrating. At other times he's not so frustrating, but he's always frustrating. You know what I mean? That's just what you're gonna get from Julius. He's a frustrating kind of guy.
I mean, He just puts his head down and goes to the rim, and when the shot's not there, like you said, he jumps, and then once he's in the air, it's like, all right, I don't want to get another missed shot, so I'm just gonna throw it away.
Yeah,
and
get a turnover.
Yeah, and you got to play the game within the game. You can't just decide when you catch the ball, all right, I'm going to shoot this. That's not the way it works.
Right. Cody, since you're already talking about him, how do you feel about Julius Randle's future here in terms of how the front office views him? In terms, how the front office views him. Will you think they will continue to go down this path of RJ and Julius together?
No. I believe that if we had anything better than a second round offer for him at the trade deadline, he would have been gone. But I mean, reality is, from the things that I've heard from people within the organization, that late first, early second was the best offer we got. And to be honest, we're not in a situation where we could accept that trade right now. I mean, because in my mind, I honestly believe that removing Randle from this situation is addition by subtraction. You take out of it, and it helps morale and chemistry of the rest of the team immediately, which would make us better.
Ball movement.
Like, we don't have to get a player in return for him, in my opinion. But with that being said, we just max this guy out. We can't fire sell him right now. That gets people fired. Like, that is a move to where you have to be dead certain when you make that move, because your career is going to be on the line. And our guys, with this, they're being their first run at this, and front office for the most of them, that's not a decision they can accept right now.
Right.
And I mean, like, I was told that. I have screenshots. I've got receipts from trade deadline day from people who are high up in the rankings in the Knicks front office. And I mean, like, I know for a fact we were hard trying to push Randle out. We just, you can't give him away. I mean, and that's what teams knew we were in that situation. That's what's so bad about it. Now, am I saying Randle doesn't have value? No, I fully believe that if you look around the league, there's places where Randle can go and he could perform well.
Yeah.
It could even be in New York. But the mindset that he has in New York, which I don't necessarily blame him for, he came into New York in a situation where you're being told this is going to be your team, that you're man. So then you do that in your first year's mediocre, iffy, whatever. We had no talent, so how do we hold that against him? Second year, he has a breakout season, and a remarkable season at that. Like, what is it, 6 or 7 players in NBA history have ever actually matched those numbers throughout the course of an entire season? But, like, expecting him to maintain that going forward, that's just not reasonable. We as fans can't expect him to do that, but we also can't accept the step back that he has taken, because it has huge step back. And it's not necessarily about the points, rebounds, assists, turnovers. That's fine. It's about ego, mindset, work ethic, what you're doing to help the rest of the team. Last year, from him, we're the Big 15. This year is give me my fucking respect. Sorry, I'd say that. But
nah, fuck that.
Okay, but you know what I'm saying? Like, the entire mindset and the way he carried himself to the team changed coming into this year. And these players felt that. I've heard it from the guys that are on the team with him say that, like, we feel how he looks down upon us and thinks that we're not good enough to play with him. How? Like, where has he been at any point in his career where he can look at anyone and say, I'm too good to play with this guy?
Yeah, he hasn't earned. He's earned some respect around the league as a player that has taken the game serious, put the work in, and you saw results last year. But the respect of, I'm this guy, you got to give me the ball and move out of the way, and that is not the kind of guy that Julius Randle is. It really it shouldn't be. That's just not him. Like, I don't see how he could really say that. And that's the sad part, because there was a part of me last year who I wouldn't say excited, but I was happy for him. You know what I mean? Because he didn't have the greatest reputation. The first season here, it wasn't great. But he turned it around last year. So I was kind of hoping that he could keep some of that. But, as Knicks fans, we kind of knew, if you're a Knicks fan and you're watching these games, a lot of those shots he made last year were bad shots. And you can't expect those shots to continue to go in night after night after night, year after year after year, especially once teams figure you out. You know what I mean? Like, you can't really expect someone to shoot bad shots and make them forever. That's just unrealistic, but and actually I said that, there was, when we came in this year, I said, how can we expect Julius Randle to mesh with his teammates, the guys that they brought in this year? Kemba, Evan, how is he going to react to not playing with what was the number 6 guy? Wow. Alfred Payton and Reggie Bullock, because apparently like those are like his best friends. But did you really expect him to come in and just gel well with everyone? And I had concerns with that, and mainly because of what he did last year. If I was someone who became, like you said, only 6 other players in NBA history put up numbers the way he did last year. I'm getting the most improved award. I got 1 or 2 MVP votes. I'm going to want to continue to make my ascent. But unfortunately, you're now on a team where you have an RJ Barrett who is ascending rapidly, not slowly. It's not a slow burn. It's on high. You know what I mean? He's cooking. So are you able to take a step back from what you expected you were going to be able to do this year? You know what I mean? Because it's clear that you can't just be whoever you want to be this year. RJ Barrett is taking storm of this team. Like, it's not even close. Who's been the best player this entire year for this team? Like, he's just been the best player for this team. They've even proved it with the Cam Reddish trade. That was for RJ. You know what I mean? To prove, like, listen, this is your timeline. We're gonna move with your timeline. And Julius saw that. You know what I mean? And I'm sure it rubbed him a little bit of a wrong way, because it's like, yo, I just put in this kind of work and this is what I'm gonna get. But stop on that. Rick, give me some thoughts on Julius, man. Give me some thoughts.
I thought you'd never ask. All right, so I mean, I agree with what Cody said. I agree with what you said, but I would like to just take a different angle, because this is what we're all about. Right. With the fact that we have Tibbs out there, and he's kind of one track mind. And
shout out Dre. Dre made a special appearance tonight. What's going on?
I know he would make it. When it comes to the coach, I think he gave him full reign and was just like, yo, this is your team, do what you got to do. And I think last year it worked because he kind of was that catalyst that the team needed. But when you switch certain players out and expect the team to function the same way, you're going to have problems. And I feel like the coaching made it difficult for him to thrive the way he did. Of course, like you said, he took a lot of bad shots that went in last year. Can you expect that? And I would say, yeah, if the environment is right, I can expect those same bad shots to go in. However, it's not the same environment.
Right.
And so I think this is where he's suffering. Some players have the ability where they can adapt to situations and find that rhythm again. I don't think he is that type of player. I feel that RJ Barrett, he has that hunger for the game. So I see that's why he's ascending. But Julius Randle, like you said, he's looking for respect. And instead of doing the work and getting that respect, he's trying to demand it from people and giving thumbs down to fans and not helping his teammates up. Like, yo, I'm the one. Like, you kind of lose what you had going. And so I think having the coach speak to him like, listen, you are still the leader of this team. However, this is the changes that we need you to make. I think that can make a huge difference if he's willing to listen.
Exactly.
I agree.
I had that thought though.
Yeah, for sure. You know what? Another thing I said, and I'm gonna get your point real quick, Dre. But just let me get a little quick thing out real quick. That game where RJ Barrett hit the game-winning shot over Jason Tatum, and in the Garden, and the crowd went crazy. That was the game that it was over for Julius Randle being the guy on this team. Every single time RJ Barrett steps on the floor in Madison Square Garden, they're chanting his name while Julius is on the floor. And this is right after he did exactly what he did last year, doing, like you said, Cody, one of 6 players in history to put up those numbers. They're in there chanting RJ Barrett every single night, every single time he gets the ball. You know what I mean? So to me, if I'm Randall, you have to fall in line. You gotta fall in line. Are you talking, Dre?
Yeah,
I can't hear you. Yeah, I can't hear you at all. Yeah, you gotta plug that in. But yeah, it's team. Is that there he is? I still can't hear you. I don't know what's going on. Go ahead, just figure out your mic. Fix it real quick, because I can't hear you.
We really can't hear you though.
We really can't hear you, bro. He plays a lot.
We really can't hear you.
We really can't hear you. I'm dead ass. I can't hear you. Gotta fix that. There you go. But anyway, let me jump to the chat. Chat is in there. Booming. What's going on? I'm just now seeing this. Kev says, Mr. Apollo, what are your thoughts on the Bing Bong Batman? I think, was it a commercial? Was it a Bing Bong commercial?
Yeah, somebody earlier said that. I think Kev said that a little bit earlier.
Yeah, that was Kev. Yep. Yeah. I missed that. I didn't catch that.
I don't think I saw it.
I didn't see it either. Toon said, I feel once
right now.
He might as well, right? I feel once he got his money and knows this isn't his team fully, he's in his feelings. I agree. I think there's
a part of that too.
There's a part of that, yeah, for sure. I think there's something to watching someone else get what you worked for. You know what I mean? It's that simple. He worked for the to be ingratiated by the fans and all of that, and now RJ Barrett is the guy that everybody wants to see.
Just do the work. Just do the work. You know that you're not playing the same way you played last season.
Mm-hmm.
So are you going to really be upset with the fans because they're chanting someone's name who's putting the numbers up? Like, just do the work.
Just do the work, bro. It's not that deep. You know what I'm saying?
You win Knicks fans back that simple just by doing the work.
Mm-hmm. And that's the thing. We're so crazy. We'll like forget everything that you did before that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, you know, once you start doing anything.
It'll take.
Yeah, that's all it takes. Is your mic working now?
I don't know why you hear me now?
There you go. Talk to us. Give us some thoughts on Julius, man.
Give us some thoughts.
You sound good.
Yeah?
Yeah, you sound good.
This thing is acting brand new. I gotta smack it around a little bit, see if that.
There's a slight echo to
it. By the way, just to introduce you, Cody is my big brother Dre. Dre, this is my boy Cody, man.
Cody, what's up, brother? How's it going, man?
Oh, good.
But yeah, talk to us about Julius, man. How you feeling about Julius?
I feel how I've been feeling about Julius. You know how I feel about Julius. Every time we talk about him, Julius is Julius.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I feel like the dude got somehow he got a Napoleon complex.
Yeah.
That's what it seems like to me. Whenever I see the dude and how he's acting, he had a nice little do today though. You saw him with the new do
with the braids.
Look good, play good, but I didn't catch the whole thing. I sent you a picture of me I caught the first half.
Mm.
Then everybody started talking about, RJ Barrett dropped all these points. I don't know about all of that. And
we're not gonna get started on your 40 push-ups, but anyway, just to show you what these numbers look like tonight.
I don't know nobody no push-ups.
Just to show you what these numbers look like tonight. There you go. Julius Randle 2 for 15 from the field, 0-4 from the 3-point line. 11 points.
15 from the field.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I was waiting for it to set in. I was waiting for it to set in. Yeah, man. Tough night for Julius.
Well, he had 7-8 3 free throws though. Cut him some slack. But 2 for 15. Did it look as bad as it looks on paper?
Yes.
No, it looks better on paper.
Wow.
It looked better on paper for sure. Because I was pissed the hell off watching him play tonight. Like, it was just certain plays. If you watch the game back, Dre. Go ahead, Rick. Go ahead.
I do guarding him in 2-15.
Yo, and the sad
and he
part
got 35 minutes.
The type of in 35 minutes, the type of shots he was taking too. You know what I mean? Like, it's pull up, mid range, like off balance. What are you doing, Julius? Come on.
I was gonna mention somebody else who was doing something very similar. Like his shot, the shot selection was just like, what? Why are you doing this?
Who you talking about?
Evan Fournier.
I wonder when somebody's gonna talk about him.
Yeah.
He's next.
He missed 11.
All right.
He's only 2 off from Randall.
Go ahead, Rick. Talk to me about what you saw from Evan tonight.
It was like he was determined to hit that floater that he was trying. And every time, he tried it like 3 times in a row, and both times it hit the back of the rim dumb hard. Like I heard the sound of it, and I was just like, tweak it. Like it's not working that way. Like he was just throwing it up way too hard.
That's not his game, though.
Yeah, it's not, and that's the thing that bothers me about Evan Fournier's game.
No, that's what bothers me about benching Kemba Walker.
My kids. Go down.
Make some noise, nephews.
Because you're not supposed to be out of your room. Thank you. Love you.
Y'all know if the mic was on, he would be like, "Get in that goddamn room."
No, that's the censored version of what I would have said. But Evan Fournier, 5 for 16 from the field, 3 for 10 from 3. Missed 11 shots. A lot of them. It looked. Sadly, that looked better on paper as well. 5 for 16.
Let me ask you this about Evan. Whenever I look at Evan Fournier, he looks very slow. Mm-hmm. It looks like it's almost like either his first day with his new knees, or it looks like the knees are going.
Or his last day with his old ones.
Yeah, it just looks like it makes me upset when you say we're gonna bench Kemba the rest of the season. But you got this dude. I feel like the only reason why he's out there is because he could shoot.
Now hold up now.
It is. No,
he benched himself. According to the news, he benched himself.
Man, I'm not rocking with that.
I'm not
rocking with that.
They had a conversation with him.
I don't see Kemba Walker saying, "You know what? I'm gonna shut it down for the rest of the season now.
Get ready for next year."
Ridiculous.
Come on. You know what I mean?
You know what happened? I'm gonna tell you what happened. They said, because you know Thibodeau is in the hot seat now, right?
Yeah.
And they said, "Hey, look, we got to do something." You know what I mean? And he said, "Listen, I told you I never wanted Kemba. I wanted to bring back bum ass Elfrid Payton, right?" And so now they said, "All right, I tell you what. Why don't we go and see if Kemba sit down the rest of the season, and then you get to do what you want to do." Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Then he said, "All right, well, let's do that."
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Now you bench Kemba. Now they all came to committee with his, "Yo, what up, Joe?" Mm-hmm. And then he said, "All right, I'll sit down." And then what happened to homeboy knee? Was that as bad as it looked too?
It wasn't. No, it wasn't as bad as it looked. Thank God. But it was
looked like
something.
He bumped. I didn't see him like do anything by itself. It looked like he hit him.
It's called a patella subluxation, and basically his right kneecap. Yeah, his right kneecap just shifted.
All right, good.
Out of position, yeah.
Because it didn't look like, how when you see somebody tear their ACL, you be like, "Oh, he tore it." It didn't look like that.
It didn't look like that, yeah. Especially because it wasn't like he planted and at a bad angle. It was like he was just.
So I was hoping it wasn't bad, but for them to do that to Kemba, and because I didn't feel like it was all Kemba's fault. I felt like Evan Fournier can't really play D.
He's really
slow. Not consistent.
He can't play D at all. I mean,
no, that's what I'm saying.
Effort is there.
How could
effort is there, but the ability is not there.
I'm sorry. It's just like they benched him like the whole season, and then D Rose gets an injury the next day. Then this kid goes down with a knee injury.
Oh, the D Rose thing. It was
Did they say it was his ankle?
No, it was his ankle, but I think it was a surface thing. Like there was an infection on the surface of
where they had to fix that
surgery before the year.
Because when they said there's no timetable, I'm like, "Yo, he out for the season now."
Yeah, that's what I thought. But it was something that should be a quick fix.
Yeah, it was one of these like this. "Yo, you could do me a favor, cut this open." That right there. Yeah.
Cut this open real quick.
Yeah.
Cut this open real quick. Can you imagine?
Yeah. I'll be back.
But yeah, it was more of just a topical thing. You know what I mean? It wasn't anything serious. So good. That was good news.
Well, speaking of Julius, I feel like either somebody's not having that talk with him. First of all, I was watching the first quarter. I feel like that starting unit is getting too many minutes straight up. But they were leading. But I think we all knew they were going to lose the lead. I feel like everybody knew that.
Yeah, we mentioned that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so they up there, and I bet you he was over there like, "They winning. Let's leave him in here."
Who, coach?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, and it was just like I was looking at it like this ain't gonna last. I saw it quickly, and I didn't get to watch the way I wanted to watch because I'm out with the fellas and all of that. But it was man, like I get so frustrated to see him leading. It's almost like, "Yo, don't lead the game. Just go in there." Just be bad the whole game, but you get your hopes up like, ooh, we got this one. They be up 20 at the end of the third, like, ooh, and we got a nice little cushion, and then it's like another one of these games. But at least RJ Barrett.
I mean, I think he had 20 in the first quarter. Was it 20 in the first quarter?
Yeah, it was 20.
20 in the first quarter. He had 30 in the first half. And the way he hit his 30th bucket, that was like the crowd was chanting his name, and then he hit a step back three. And then
talk to me about chanting. You been hearing that every game?
The chanting?
Yeah, for RJ.
Every single game, every home game.
When he was out, you wasn't hearing that.
No. They wouldn't chant for anybody. They were just cheering, regular cheering.
Right. So I'm saying right now, so now because this is his first game back since I don't know how many
since
weeks
he was out.
Yeah, since he was out versus Denver. Yeah.
What'd you say, Cody? I didn't hear you.
Cam one game trying to get him in.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. What did he say? I'm sorry.
Yo, Cody. Joe wants to know why you're not blinking.
What you mean?
He said he wasn't blinking. What did he say?
He said, "Yo,
oh yeah, why is Cody frozen? I think he might have been frozen for a second before. That was a couple minutes ago. Joe is also it's B. That's Bernard. You know B.
Yeah.
But so yeah, I don't know. Let's move on from that real quick. What were you asking though, Dre? You said something in particular you were asking about.
I just feel like you saying they cheering him. You really think that's getting to Julius?
I don't see why not.
Yeah, if he's as sensitive as we think he is, that's definitely getting
for sure. Yeah.
Every bit as sensitive as we think. This guy's walked out of practices. Like,
yeah,
that's serious. He's legit been told to run sets, focusing on other players, and he'll get mad and storm out. He's also, from what I understand, been in loud arguments with coaching staff, being told to run plays for RJ during practice. I mean, this is all coming from player
on. Run that back by me. You say when he's asked to run plays for other players, he gets pissed off.
You said for RJ.
But I am saying there have been times where he has walked out of practice because of sets being run for other players other than himself.
Wow.
Hey, let me tell you something. You know why I believe that? Because this team is looking bad. This team is looking bad now. And if you like you walking out, they call a play for you, and I walk out. Like, how you ever gonna feel good about me?
Right.
See, you're never gonna feel like.
And I also was talking about that same sentiment when
you said something like that.
He has with the video. When you have bad body language, RJ shoots a three, you throw your hands up like this. You don't think RJ watches film?
Right.
You don't think RJ's gonna see that?
He could be seeing that. He could be seeing that in front of everybody when they go over film. It don't even have to be about that. But if you're going like this every time, you want to shoot the shot every goddamn time.
Everybody's looking at you. He's the best player. Why would you not look at him? Go ahead.
It's outrageous. It's outrageous. And he's not even that good, bro. That's the thing that annoys me.
Yeah. I really don't understand how someone can be. First of all, you saw how it was with Kobe. You played with Kobe.
But he bumped head.
He did bump heads. He bumped heads with Kobe as well?
Yeah, it's well documented. But him and Kobe also became close after that, and he started working out with Kobe. And
after he left the Lakers, though.
No, this was still when he was with.
No, when he was with the Lakers, they had that whole time. Yeah, when he said he worked out with him, and he saw how much he was working out.
Okay.
And then he said he did that while he was still with the Lakers.
Mm-hmm. That's when, like, as soon as Randall still does this too, from what I hear from other players. But as soon as they touch down in cities, like on all the away games, he immediately has somebody with a gym already prepped for him. He goes straight playing to the gym every single time we touch him.
Yeah, I remember they mentioned that last year.
Yeah, that's like I hate the guy. We all, but I respect the hell out of that. You know?
Yeah.
Randall
put your work
in. Like, you've never seen me knock his work ethic. The guy does put the work in. Where it goes or what it does, I mean,
where it goes.
I mean, like,
it's true.
I'm not gonna do a guy for something that he does. You know what I'm saying? Like, I respect his work ethic, but it's what's he working on? I mean, that's the I have to have here. Are you working on the same thing? Are you working on a set shot the entire time? I mean, like, are you working on dribble moves? Have you ever thought about practicing anything with your right hand? I mean, like, at some point in time, there's going to be a change to his game. The way Randall plays today is the exact same Randall style that he had in high school. Go back and watch his AAU games.
Right. Facts.
Go back and watch him at Kentucky. Go back and watch him his first year with LA, second year. He got hurt first game. But watch him when he gets to New Orleans. I mean, he bumps heads with Anthony Davis. He's bumped heads with Kobe. we expect him to bow down to RJ and become the second option now?
Hell no.
If you can willingly take a step back to Brandon Ingram, which he was with, or you can't willingly take a step back to Kobe, who's one of the greatest ever, you're not going to take a step back to a 21-year-old when you just got maxed out by a team. When you got told by a team you're going to be the franchise leader, because that's what they were telling him over the summer last year. That's another thing. Like, I can't look at Randall and blame him for trying to lead this team. That's what he was asked to do. That's what he's been told to do. And that's why, like, when we say Tibbs needs to have a talk with him, no, Tibbs needs to stop talking to him, because every time he talks, he pumps his head up more.
Yeah.
If that's going to be the issue, then I love Tibbs, and I'm about to hate what I say next, but he's got to go. We've got to get someone who will put the players in check. It's not about being friends with them. It is about getting the best ability out of them.
Yeah. Let me tell you something, Cody, because like I said, when we went to that game opener against the Celtics, I said it that night. Everybody was mad that Kemba wasn't doing X, Y, and Z. I said, no. I said, you just saw the coach, Kemba coming up with the ball. He crossed half court, and you saw the coach point at Julius, like, give him the ball. He did one of these, like, oh. That's what it is. Like,
and moved away.
Yeah, and the downfall came. This, in my view, from my perspective, it all happened after he failed the way he did in the playoffs last year. I felt like from that point on, you know what I'm saying? I just, from as far as the bad play and everything, I just felt like, he said all the right things at the press conferences, but I felt like that was the exposed Julius Randle. I felt like he had a great season. I don't know if it was like, I guess you could say luck. You know what I mean? I don't know if his shot selection was better or whatever the case may be.
Right.
But that boy was it just seemed ever since then he never recovered. And it seems like he's mad at New York. He's mad at the fans. It just seems like he's ready to point the blame anywhere he can. And he's never looked better. And then, he's, just like we talked about him playing with Obi, if they played together. Not that, I think Mitchell is doing his thing.
Right.
But it probably wouldn't work. And like you said, Cody, if this dude, like the coach is probably pumping him to make him feel like he's the number one. Like I said before, he wasn't number one when we had Marcus Morris. Marcus Morris was the clutch dude.
Yeah, that's true.
And I said that before. He wasn't supposed to be, but it turned out he was. And you see Marcus Morris, he's the second, third, not even a second. He's like the third, fourth option wherever he goes.
Yeah, on the Clippers,
Right. And he'd have been a star in New York. He got like a little half a season out of us and was looking good. He was my favorite Knick. Y'all knew why. You know what I'm saying? Hit the other kid in the head with the ball and everything. But that was fun.
Yeah.
But it's just like this dude is not like, he's not like a team leader. He might be like the most talented, but he's not the leader. Even if he is the most talented. He's not leader material.
He's just not, he's not built to be a leader. And that's a lot of times, like Knicks and our struggles, show me who your leader is and I'll show you what your team is. And I mean, right now our entire team is underwhelming and not performing up to their best abilities. And then you look at Randall and it's underwhelming, not performing up to his best abilities. So I mean, it's like, it's just a trickle down effect. But I do want to on Kemba real quick before I forget, because I've been meaning to bring it up. Talk about the benching of him for the rest of the season. From what I understand, we went to him with a buyout offer, and he refused to take a buyout. He didn't want to leave his family and home in New York. Like, that's the thing. There's numerous other teams interested in him as if we were to buy him out, but he don't want to leave New York at this point in time. So I'm pretty sure he did agree to the sit. I'm not saying that I know that he agreed to it, but it was either accept the buyout or get benched because you're not going to be playing for us. And he just was okay with being benched.
Right. How could you do that to him?
I think he did it to himself. It was a little bit of both, because to me, you guys remember
we had a different coach. We'd have did that to him.
If we would have probably never brought him in. I feel like
say that again, Cody.
If we had a coach that was willing to go outside the box, RJ would be our lead ball handler right now. With this,
without a doubt.
I mean, he's the best option in my mind.
Yeah.
Like the roster right now. Quickly's not a ball handler. Deuce just isn't ready. I mean, he had a 5-game stretch in December and early January, I believe it was, where he averaged 26.2 minutes a game on 6 points, 2 assists, 2 rebounds. I think you might want to fact check that. That's off the top of the head, but I'm pretty sure that's it. So, like, we know Deuce isn't there. We know Quickly's not there. Rhodes clearly been hurt. Kemba, statistically the worst Knick when he's been on the floor, if we're talking about offensively and defensively combined. So I mean, at this point in time, would it hurt to try something different?
I mean, I don't like RJ as a ball handler. I don't like him on the ball.
The same thing about
Harden.
The same thing was said about Harden in OKC, that he wasn't ready. Not saying you said it, but I'm saying like numerous people said that James Harden can never be a guy that handled the ball nonstop because.
I mean, I could be wrong. I think of course, there's always like you could be wrong. I don't know if it's a matter of it being ready. I don't know if he has like the ball handling abilities. I don't like him in that part. I don't see it for RJ, but not to say that he shouldn't be involved in the offense more. I don't know if he should be more of a mainstay in the offense, but the ball handler, I don't see the handling abilities, which is why I was excited about Kemba coming, because I felt like he could move around and get it to RJ, and then get these guys, but then you have a coach that's saying put it in the power forward's hand, and I just feel like this everything. And one of the things I noticed like tonight that I've seen before, and I meant to mention this, it just seems like I don't know if it's the coach they worried about or if it's Julius, but everybody's playing. Not everybody. Some guys are playing like they don't want to play wrong. Like they're scared to play their brand of basketball. And it seems like they're afraid they're going to upset somebody and they're giving the ball up and they're not shooting it. Or they hold, you know what I mean? And it's just like, all right, something like locker room, something is not going right.
Right. I think it's regarding the RJ thing, I think he can be the first option without being
the ball handler,
the lead ball handler, but he's gonna have the ball in his hands a lot. That's just how it's going to have to be if you want him to be comfortable in those situations. He doesn't have to.
I would like to see him and Cam Reddish, like if they started together. I think that would be interesting also.
I would love to, for sure.
They played a little bit together today, but
they didn't start together.
No. I do have a question for you, Cody, because you said that we know that Deuce is not ready. That's based on his performance in the G League?
No, that's based on the 5-game stretch that I referred to in, I think it was late December, early January. But he averaged like 26.2 minutes per game during that stretch and started most of those games. I believe we won 2 of them, but his overall numbers were just very, very poor. I mean, he had 1 9-assist game, and I think he had another game where he scored fairly well. But then it all balanced back out to be 6 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists per game on very, very inefficient play.
And as far as our options, he's still not a better option than Burks.
Might be the best option, but looking at it from a coach's standpoint, I want to preserve him and make sure that I bring him along the right way. I don't want to throw him in the fire and kill his mentality too soon. I mean, like, because not saying that it would, because when he got drafted, he said he was going to prove everyone wrong that he was the best point guard in the draft. And he very well could, but if we throw him out there too soon, it could hurt him more than help him, and that's what I don't want to see.
I feel like not playing him is hurting him, because I feel like he's seeing Grimes and Sims, who he came in with.
Grimes,
and they're getting minutes and they're making mistakes, but they're still getting minutes. I mean, Sims more recently than overall, but the usage is still more than him. He got 2 minutes and I think 8 seconds tonight. And it's just like, I feel like that would hurt more than just.
Yeah, I need to clarify, because I'm not saying let's don't play Deuce, but I think Deuce needs to get 14 to 20 minutes every single game.
Right. And that's all I'm trying to say. Like, I feel like based on 2 minutes of play, like we can't say that he's not ready, but no. I hear what you're saying based on past performances.
He needs to be playing. He just doesn't need to be the face.
Starting, yeah.
That's a lot. I mean, we're talking New York. It's a lot to start at point guard for any NBA team. It is a lot to start in New York. Yeah. Like, I mean, the fans alone could eat that kid up in a heartbeat, and that's what we don't need right now.
Well, if you guys remember when we drafted him and we saw how he played in the summer league, and I was a big Grimes fan, but everyone loved Deuce. Like, it was like, I want to see Deuce play. He needs to start. Like, it happened very, very fast. But
it's hard not to.
Yeah, it's hard not to when you see the product that's
defense.
Out there.
I mean, you would think that he's ready,
he did everything,
according to the coach anyway.
But if you look at it, at that time, remember when I asked who do you think has the most opportunity? Out of the 3 guys we drafted this year, who will play the most?
Yeah,
and everybody was like Deuce. And I'm like, yeah, I want Deuce to play the most, but it's going to be Grimes just because of the availability at that position. And you know Tibbs had to play Burks. You knew he was going to play Derrick Rose. You knew that if those two guys weren't running, he was going to play quickly. So there wasn't many minutes there for Deuce. And unfortunately, that's why he's been back and forth between the G League and the NBA, because that's the only way to really get him minutes. And at this point, with Kemba not being out for the rest of the season, he being out for the rest of the season, Derrick Rose, you never really know. I don't want to say it again.
We should sit Rose the rest of the season.
We should sit Rose for the rest of the season. I don't see why not. But we should not see another G League minute of Deuce McBride for the rest of the season. There's no reason, especially, and it was encouraging to me because there was clearly a talk with Tibbs about, listen, you can start who you want, but these guys got to play, because the first guy off the bench tonight was Jericho Sims for Mitchell Robinson, and I was like, whoa.
Yeah, I saw that. I was like, what?
Like, what the hell's going on here? And then you see Deuce get in, but it was for a short time, but it was clearly because of the Grimes injury and stuff like that. But still, there was an emphasis. He would have played someone else. He wouldn't have put Deuce out there. There's an emphasis from up top telling him, listen, you have to do this. And it's ironic that same game they ran through RJ all 4 quarters, which is something you don't really see them do. They might run through RJ for the first quarter, third quarter, but for some reason, by the time the fourth quarter comes around, RJ Barrett barely sees the ball. You just see a lot of Julius Randle and Evan Fournier. And this is while RJ's hot. And so, to me, the first half, when I see RJ getting 20 in the first quarter, I'm like, this is cool, but he might end up with 26, because I've seen this. It's happened so many times.
When y'all texted me that, I was like, yeah, now he got to score like the more points in the second half too. But it's easier to get 10 points than it is to get another 20. But
right. And that's kind of what I saw happening. I was like, well, are they going to keep going to him? And once they start bringing in Deuce and Jericho, I'm like, well, maybe there was an emphasis on shifting away a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Because there's no reason why you're going with these guys so early. Like, I've never seen Jericho Sims on the court so early with Taj Gibson available, with Nerlens Noel available.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, all right, well, there clearly was a message sent down to you. So hopefully that's the sign of things to come. You'll start to see more of RJ, more of these young guys. McBride, by the way, just now tweeted. Let me see if I can get it up here. Grimes is who I'm trying to say. I keep saying the wrong name. But he sent out a little tweet just to give us a little update on how he's feeling, and hopefully he's not there for long. He's not out for long, I mean, and he'll be fine. So doesn't look like it's that serious.
Yeah, your man said, "Don't you lie to me."
Said, "Don't you lie to me." Shout out Trav. Trav is a cool dude. But yeah, man, it's encouraging to see him start to focus on the youth a little bit more, because this is all we've been asking for all year. They did come out and say that they were going to still try to make the play-in, but I think that's a little bit to appease coach more than anything.
You have to say that. I mean,
you got to.
What are you supposed to say in that situation? I know we want the game. That just doesn't happen. I mean, look at the Brian Flores situation in the NFL right now. They offered him $100K a game to lose. No, that was his answer. No, like, you can fire me before I take your free money. Wow. Like, that's how these people actually feel. This is their careers. They're playing right now for their next contract. They're coaching for their next contract. Nobody loses on purpose.
Right.
I hate hearing that tank stuff. Like,
I mean, unless the owner says I give you $100,000 a game to lose.
He still said no to it though.
That was him.
Yeah,
that's him.
Yeah. But I mean,
I'm pretty sure that's happened before.
Look at Philly. Philly is the only team that I can look at in history and think, like, all right, they intentionally tried to lose, but how did they do it? Their best players didn't do it. They set them. They set them 2 or 3 years. They set Simmons his first year. They set who was the one that busted? Markelle Fultz. They set him his first year.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like,
Nerlens Noel too.
Yeah, Nerlens Noel. Yeah, Noel too. I forgot he was such a hot. I mean, but Now he's what he is.
And my cat is bugging out now. She wants to be on the show apparently too. But yeah, it's tanking. There's way more to lose with tanking.
She say Julius Randle?
No. Whatever the hell she's saying, she needs to be quiet, especially if she's saying Julius Randle in my house. But yeah, it's this. I forgot what point I was even mentioning at that time. But there's just a lot. I guess just to sum everything up, I don't want to keep everybody for too long. You can't come out and just say, I'm going to tank. You know what I mean? Like, that's just not what you're going to see a franchise say, especially a year after they just went to the playoffs and it was number 4 seed. There's no way you can come out and say that. So, I think there's some moves that need to be made. I think this summer will be very, very, very interesting because I can see them starting to fill out the roster around guys in the early 20s, Obi, Grimes, obviously RJ, maybe Quickly if he's still here, because I'm not sure how they feel about Quickly.
I think Obi and Quickly is going to be gone.
I wouldn't be surprised. Obi? I wouldn't be surprised, especially Quickly. I wouldn't be surprised if Quickly,
but I would. Well, yeah, you're right.
I mean,
if Julius isn't here, Obi's staying for sure.
Okay, yeah, that part 100%. But there's the issue again. I mean, we got Julius Randle at $30 million a year, and that contract he just now signed doesn't even kick in until next year. He's still playing under the first deal he signed.
Yeah,
that's not a bad contract though compared to a lot of these contracts out there.
Yeah, it's not as bad, but it's still early. It's still early.
Like, and yeah, it could turn around. I mean, he could go back up to 25 points a game, and we all forget about and keep talking about how this contract's a bargain. But I mean, at the end of the day, we're still talking $30 million a year. With RJ coming up eligible for a contract extension this year, which is going to be around 130 to 150. So, I mean, he's already going to be making more than Randle. Again, there we go back to Randle's ego. How's that going?
Boy, forget it. He really got to go now. Yeah. So here's the other thing, though. If his contract is not a bad contract if he's behind a bona fide star. Because I think RJ's problem is – not RJ. Julius' problem is that he needs to know he's not the number one guy.
Yeah. And if he can accept that, then –
right.
We're golden.
Then that's a good contract. He could fit. He could get in where he fit in and play his way into I don't know, being like an all-star again, perhaps. But I think that could work. But I would love to see. I'm not 100% confident. Like I see Joe getting at me about. I ain't say nothing about no crossovers and going between the legs and all of that about RJ. RJ don't have handle to me. I don't think that RJ can. That's just how I see it. But maybe I need to see the ball in his hands a little more.
Yeah, but that one, because it's sample size with that. But I also, RJ is the kind of guy, if he does have the ball in his hands, he's not the kind of guy who's going to be loosey-goosey with it. He's never going to be James Harden. But
what about James flashy with the ball? I mean, if we're talking strictly James Harden ball handling ability, what about that is flashy? I mean, yeah, he drops people, but that's off his footwork, not off his handle.
Yeah. See that, but that's what I mean. But I don't even see RJ because I've always said what the incredible thing about James Harden, he's not fast, he's overweight, and he's still dropping dudes. That's why I always said it's incredible. But I don't see RJ doing that. Like again, to revisit that. Like I'm not saying
a little something tonight. If you watch it tonight, he's starting to get a little bit more comfortable hitting step back.
I got to look at it because I just he doesn't come across. And I'm not saying you look at what was this dude that was dumb nice with the handle that played for Denver, Andre
Miller.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like and Chauncey Billups. These dudes wasn't flashy with the ball,
right?
But they were floor generals. You know what I'm saying? And I don't see that in RJ. And I'm just saying,
he's also not a point guard either.
Yeah.
Cool.
RJ.
Andre Miller wasn't.
RJ.
Well, yeah, but I guess to the point where Cody was saying that he liked to see, if he's thinking out the box, that he could run the point. Then,
the main ball.
I mean,
that's to see Cam Reddish. That's why I say RJ the point because Cam's also coming up for a contract extension this summer. So I mean, do we give it to him? We haven't seen him at all. We're gonna max this kid out because that's what he's gonna ask for. He's already made that clear. He was asking for it in Atlanta. That hasn't changed just because he went to a bigger market. If anything, he's wanting more now. Now, luckily, he
didn't perform. He's got to perform though.
He's got to have the opportunity,
really. Right? Got to get a chance. That's the point.
And he did. Atlanta. I mean, look at their Eastern Conference Finals run last year. He was a big part of that. He had a lot of huge games.
He was cooking. He was cooking.
Do you think that could be by design by the front office to maybe, just
that's what I'm saying they should do with him now. That's what they should be doing with him now. Feature these dudes together.
No, what I'm saying is, do you think that it could be a possibility that they might have not wanted him to play so much, to play himself into such a high value that it's hard to resign him at the number that they want?
Or to have somebody else take him from underneath him?
No. Just
we own his rights now, so we can match any offer. Plus, we can go over the salary cap to sign him because of the trade. That's one of the reasons why we made the trade to get him instead of waiting. Because either way it goes, it's been planned for Cam to come to New York since draft day. I can promise you that, and Zion's coming too. But with that being said, I mean, like, we can't hold him back because he still has that ability to go to another team and sign for whatever. I mean, like, right now, I say we're going to have to max him out, but his max is going to be around 13, 14 million a year. It's not going to be the 150 that RJ is going to be for. Yeah. But, I mean, are we willing to give him that without seeing him with these guys? That's my thing. Now, granted, I know the plan, and I know that Cam's always supposed to have came anyway, but just because it's supposed to happen doesn't mean that it's what needs to happen. I want to see that Cam and RJ do play well together in the NBA, because what they did at Duke doesn't matter to me. And I love both these guys personally. Thanks. Just forget about them as players. These are great dudes that I know personally. So I want to see them succeed and excel. But I want to know it works before we give them money.
That's what makes me nervous about the whole Zion move, because like we haven't seen Zion really play, and he hasn't played. And where is he? You know what I mean? So everyone's talking about, oh yeah, Knicks gonna get Zion. Like, that's the answer. Like, we don't know what Zion is all about right now.
Hold on, let Cody talk about Zion, because
I promise he's fine. He's all right.
I was gonna say that. I was gonna see, me coming from me. I don't know anybody that knows Zion personally. So, but still, from what I can see, he just doesn't want to play there. He doesn't. I don't think he's hurt. That's fine. All these random injuries that pop up, and now he has to get another surgery. I'm like, come on.
There's not another surgery. That's crazy. He is hurt, though. Like, I'm not going to deny that. If we were to make a deal for him, which we can't because trade deadline's passed, but let's just say we brought him in today, he would still be sitting out. Is he going to be sitting out the rest of the year like they're talking about? Probably not. But if he stays in New Orleans, he is probably going to be sitting out the rest of the year, because that foot could be a little tricky. It might be worse than we think, or it might be a whole lot better than we think. Who knows until we find out, where Zion's going to end.
You can ask Grant Hill about that.
But I mean, we got a pretty good idea how it is. But let's just say New Orleans is going to hate us for us over. But it's their fault. They knew when they drafted him that he did not want to be there. It was made clear in the original interviews with him and everything. They knew this. So why did they suddenly think it was going to change? You can't just – well, you can because of the way it's structured. But you can't expect a guy to just come in just because you drafted number 1 overall. Now he's suddenly going to be loyal to you. Like, that's not the way it works. And I know that Zion should be respectful and appreciative of the opportunity he's been given, and he is. True. But this is his life. You get one chance to live your life. Do you really want to be somewhere where you're miserable? I mean, like, that's what people don't talk about. They talk about how it's wrong for him to sit out. It's wrong for him to do that. It's like, who are they? They didn't put the work in. They haven't been in with us getting to this position. They wasn't drafted number 1 overall. Who are they to speak for how he feels and what's best for his mental health? If playing in New Orleans takes years off his life because he's constantly stressing, it's better for him to be in Oregon right now working out. I mean,
and that reminds me a lot of, and I say this a lot, it reminds me a lot of what was going on with Porzingis before he left. Like, just training elsewhere, not training with the team. And if the guy doesn't want to be there, you're going to know. You know what I mean? You can't hide that. Porzingis did not want to be here anymore, and it was evident. They had to send guys to Latvia to train with him and meet with him and stuff like that. It's really simple.
What you're saying is, I understand it. I just don't know if I totally agree with it. I feel like, of what? In terms of, if he didn't want to be in New Orleans, he didn't have to sign the contract, but he did.
No,
yeah, there's many ways around that. You can refuse to sign it, but it's not like the MLB where if you don't sign a contract, you can join the draft again next year. They still own your rights for the next 5 years. So he's just supposed to not make money for the next 5 years and then still have to sign a rookie deal when he does decide to come. It's not like he could have just set out for 3 or 4 years and then that deal just faded away. No, when he decided to play, he still would have been on the hook for that 4 year with the team option on the 5th.
Damn.
Nah, there's no way out of that, Ricky.
There's no way out.
You can't not sign your rookie contract if you get drafted. It's just not.
Especially because of the money that
you decide, I want to play now. Okay, well, New Orleans drafted you 8 years ago. Go play for New Orleans. They got a 4-year contract on you. Plus, they got a team option for the 5th year. Where if you decide not to sign that $181 million, okay, you're gonna get $15 million for 1 year, and then you become restricted. Let's hope you don't get hurt. That's what these players have to deal with,
and that's giving them more control over his career than he has over his own career.
That's this whole CBA set up for the team that drafts the player to own them for the first 7 years. That's literally how it's worded. Own them. Man, they don't own these players. These players, they're themselves. Live your life. Like, yeah, they might employ these players, but that's it.
That's why that whole Halliburton thing, I thought, just took me by surprise. I was like, what?
Yeah.
Man.
But I was like, to me, I was glad when that move went down because I wanted Knicks fans to understand that, listen, anyone can go. Like, stop trying to hold on to Frank Ntilikina for however many years so that he can turn into whatever.
You was the one trying to hold on to Frank.
I never said he was going to be a superstar ever once. I said he's a great bench.
I did hate Frank. I'm not going to deny that.
You hated Frank?
I liked him. I wanted him.
I liked him.
Draft, everybody talking Michael Porter Jr. I was talking Frank. Same thing with Porzingis. When everybody was talking about, I don't even remember who was in his class, but I wanted Porzingis badly just because the unicorn 7'3", this dude can shoot. Like, I didn't care about nothing else. He's 7'3" and got a stroke on him. Let's get that.
He disappointed you, didn't he?
Hit me. Still watching him play, like I don't know. He's better than what he is, but I don't know.
Now he's in Washington.
I hope we end up with around the 10th or 12th pick and we get this kid coming out of Nebraska named Bryce McGowan, because then I'll be in the front office with the Knicks every single day and y'all can have the question you want.
Ooh. Tell us about Bryce, man. Tell us a little bit about Bryce.
It's a killer, bro. I mean, just broke Nebraska's freshman scoring record last weekend, I believe it was. I think he's averaging like 17.6 a game right now. He's a sister down, but he don't have any teammates. His brother's there with him. I shouldn't have said that. He got teammates.
We won't put it out there. Like
player development VP.
Mm-hmm.
They shouldn't do blood tests. That's all I have to say about that. Maybe they have a good coach in place. Who knows? Maybe next year. With Bryce coming out of Nebraska, he's gonna declare this year. It's pretty well known, so there's no point keeping it a secret at this point. He's a good combo guard. I see him more of a shooter / scorer, but the kid, he can handle the ball at 6'7" and can pass. But when you're in college with nobody to pass to and you can score every single time pretty efficiently, he's just been a scorer.
Why are you gonna pass it? Who's his NBA comparison? And Bryce, by the way, is what my wife wanted to name our first son.
Oh yeah, RG.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Best NBA comparison. That one got me because he's such a smooth shooter, but with his length, I want to say like it's too hard. But I mean, I got to think KD. That's the only thing that pops in my head right off top. That's interesting. Such big words, but just with his ability to handle, he's not KD. He's not that good. He's not generational type talent at all. I love the kid. I'm sorry, Bryce, but truth is what it is. He's just his shooting ability, size, and length. I just think KD every time I watch this kid play. But then I also see his ball handling ability, and I think like this kid can lead a team. This kid can be everything a team needs, and he's coming so hard onto the radar. He wasn't even projected to be a first-round pick at the beginning of this season. Wow. When he first signed on with Florida State as a 5-star, then we thought, and everybody thought he was even projected top 5 then, or not top 5, but first round then. But when he withdrew and decommitted from Florida State, because his brother was at Pittsburgh at first. That's the thing. Like when his brother left Pittsburgh and went to Nebraska, that's when Bryce decommitted. And when he decommitted, they dropped him from 5-star to a 4. And why that changed draft rankings, who knows, but it did. And when they both go to Nebraska now, Trey gets hurt at the beginning of the season, and Bryce, his point production dropped a lot. But then the last 10, 15 games, he's averaging like 23, 24 points a game. So, I mean, this kid's really came on strong late. But looking at the draft, what makes me feel good about him is that it's a top-heavy draft. There's only going to be 3 to 4 players that we can honestly look at right now and think, like, all right, they for sure have an NBA career ahead of them. I mean, look at the potential number 1 overall pick, Chet Holmgren. He's not – I can't even look at Chet and think, all right, that guy's a for sure NBA player.
I never really saw it. Yeah,
but the guy's skinnier than me, and like I'm 6'6", 175. You know what I'm saying? You don't get much skinnier than that. So like, I don't see how he's going to be able to bang with the big guys in the league, and that's concerning to me. So then when I'm looking at 10 and 12, and I see a guy like Bryce who just scored over 17 points a game as a freshman, that's exciting to me. I mean, like I said, the main thing is it would have me in a position to be with the Knicks, so that's why we're going that route.
Well, listen, we're gonna hope for Bryce to somehow slip, because the thing about the Knicks is whenever we're interested in some guys, someone else always grabs them.
Yeah, we don't get them.
Someone always is like, you know what, the Knicks are interested in this guy. Let's go grab this guy. Something, you know what I mean? There's always something where it's like we were this close, you know what I mean? And especially when you talk about Steph Curry, but we're not gonna go there. We're not gonna go there. It happens all the time. And it was the same situation kind of with Zion, with Steph. Steph told Golden State that he didn't want to go there. He wanted to go to New York, but they drafted him anyway.
That Zion still makes me sick. How in you world get the number 1 overall pick that year? I mean, I know how they got it, but come on, it was like an 11% chance compared to our 35% chance. Like, come on.
What were they? Weren't they like 10th? They were supposed to be 10th.
And then the crazy part is they also had the Lakers pick that the Lakers had traded them, and it was projected higher than what they had. And then they ended up getting number 1 with theirs, and then the Lakers was number 4. So like they're in 2 times in the top 5 right there. So like that, yeah, that's crazy.
That was odd. I mean, but hopefully it plays out well. Like you said, hopefully Zion will be fine by next year. I do think Zion. Do you think Zion will force a trade out of New Orleans?
I think everybody expects it right now.
I'm not going to say that I think he will, because I feel like they're already working towards knowing they have to trade him without him telling them. Mm-hmm. But yeah, he will for sure. If they don't do it this summer, next year, we're going to get a whole lot louder.
Wow. Time for y'all to giddy up, man. Time for y'all to giddy up. Any last words, Dre? How you feeling, man? Talk to me. Anything?
Feeling good, man. I like the idea of Zion going out of leaving a team that he don't want to be. I mean, I keep seeing these things about Zion and what's my man over there with Utah, the kid who's the New Yorker,
Donovan Mitchell.
And I'm like, that's just I can't get my hopes up. They always talking some crazy stuff. They say New York got all the money, but I don't. Huh?
Hey, Cody?
We capped out New York. It's got to be a sign and trade for us to bring somebody in this year.
Yeah.
Buy Obi. Obi can go. Because if Utah was the max, all right, let's go to Bradley Beal for a moment if we have time for that.
Yeah, okay.
If Bradley Beal was to become available, Washington can max him out. We can send them somebody like Obi, which who cares at that point, because they're going to lose him anyway. Whatever they get, they're going to be happy with. And then we can go over the salary cap to be able to bring Bill in, which then puts us in a position to still extend RJ because we own his bird rights.
Right.
And we own Cam Reddish's bird rights now too because we made a trade for him. So, I mean, like, we could be in a position soon to where we're playing with luxury tax money just like all these other contenders are. And honestly, that's what's been separating the Knicks over the past 20 years is we haven't been able to retain our rookies that we drafted to get in to play with that luxury tax.
True.
We did it with Melo, but we were so capped out and so stripped when we made the Melo trade that we wasn't able to build around him because we didn't have cash flow to.
Yeah.
That's changed now. We do have the cash flow now. The only difference is we have to get in that position, and due to the league rules, we have to re-sign our own players or pull off a sign and trade to get there. And then we can play with the big dog money where we can throw out, 3, 4, $30+ million contracts to players. We can't do that yet because of league rules. But this summer is where we finally can make that happen.
Listen, man, I think there's a lot of movements that will be made because of the lack of movement at the deadline. I think they need to show the team what the direction is by the moves that they're going to make. And I think it's even when it comes down to the coaching, you know what I mean? Like, is Tibbs still going to be here next year? I'm not sure. If you really look at, I think when RJ there was a timeout call that might have been in the third quarter or whenever it was. The first person that went straight up to RJ was Johnny Bryant, because he's just that kind of guy. And you guys heard me talk about Johnny Bryant all the time. I think he's had a hand in the development of RJ because RJ you know, I mean, just this year is just coaching. And the thing is it's not just training. You get better by training, but you also have to be coached the right way. You know what I mean? Like a lot of guys in the league, they train hard every single day. But if you don't have someone who's going to be able to receive uh, uh criticism the right way and to listen to a coach like Julius Randle, how easy is it for Julius Randle to have someone who's he's gonna listen to and tell him like, listen, you can't be doing that. You know what I mean? Like he's not really accepting of hearing those kind of things. You know what I mean? That's just the kind of person he is, and we've seen it. He wears his heart in his sleeve. He's just not. He's it's what didn't they say he's a Pisces? Sorry guys, I didn't want to do that to you guys. But you know, you know, it's just how he is. RJ is a different story. He puts the work in, but then he also lets you coach him. He's gonna listen to what you're saying because clearly you've had more. Johnny Bryant, he's coached Donovan Mitchell. He's coached Damian Lillard. Why wouldn't you listen to this guy? You know what I mean? So I think there's something to Johnny Bryant still being here, in my opinion. Say it again.
That's going to be our next head coach, probably.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's
to me,
that's what we were guessing.
That's what we were guessing because to me, there was a lot of chatter around him last year, especially when what's my man Woodson went to college and he left. You know, people were trying to get Johnny Bryant, and the noise quieted down really quick. So to me, that sounds like, all right, listen, we got this guy here. He's not an assistant coach. He's an associate head coach. He's not an assistant coach. He's an associate head coach. So he's here for a reason. I think Tibbs also knows that too. You know what I mean? So they got some moves to make this summer. I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully, there's some moves that gets Julius Randle out of town. In a nice way. You know, I don't want to kick him out, you know. But the guy's got to go.
We got to do it in a way where the rest of the league understands the move.
So that we don't taint ourselves.
Yeah, if we were to fire sell him, it's going to hurt us with other players.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, even around the league, from what I've gathered, Randall's not exactly respected by other players. But I put a Jolly Rancher in thinking we were done. My bad.
You're good.
But even though other players dislike him, he's still an NBA player. He's still professional. He's still somebody we just maxed out. And if we could just dump him say we took a late first-round pick for him this year, that would be bad for us.
That would have been bad.
And good for us, it would have been bad long-term, simply because we do that. They're going to say, all right, they just maxed this guy out and labeled him franchise player 9 months ago, and now they're giving up on him already.
Yep.
If I have a few bad games and they're done with me, that would be the mentality that we show people.
Yep.
And that's what we can't. We've done that too long. And like we finally turned the corner and we finally had things going in the right direction. We're in a situation right now where we could easily backtrack and be right back to where we was right at the bottom.
Very quick.
We read this whole situation carefully.
Very true.
That's just all there is to it. Like whatever we do with Randall has to be something where the league will look at it and say, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. And that's the thing. When it comes to making moves in this business, you can't just mess with guys' careers because they talk. All these guys talk. And they will tell other guys, like, listen, don't go over there because they'll do this to you or they'll do that to you. We've already heard that Charles Oakley is the reason why LeBron said, yeah, that's why I'll never go to New York. You know, but these guys talk. However legit that rumor is, these guys talk. And you don't want to do that to your franchise because you're essentially hurting yourself. But that's really on the guy. I don't want to do anything else. Final words, Dre. You got anything else you want to say?
Nah, man. I'm glad to be part of the show. I ran home from work. I was like this. You know what I mean? I was like, let me get on the show.
You just left the car at work.
You left the car at work. I ran to the house. Listen, man, we I'm gonna dig up the footage of when you said you were gonna do the 40 push-ups.
Ain't no footage.
When RJ hits 40 points. Listen, man. We had a guest on. The guest reminds me.
Yeah, I wasn't on the show when you said it, but I remember we referenced it at another show.
Yeah,
right. Because they was making that all up, and then it was just like they was trying to make
that all up. Get it out of here. Listen, every single time my man gets 30, my boy, shout out to Knicks fans Walden. They hit me up every single time, like, yo, where's your brother at, man? He's about to get 40 every single time. And tonight, listen, We're gonna make that happen for you, man. We're gonna make it happen live too. Matter you're gonna be here Sunday, right?
Nah, I ain't feeling too
You ain't
good.
gonna be here. You ain't feeling too good. Right. I figured you wasn't gonna be good. Rick, you got any last words?
Yeah, if RJ hits 50, I'll do 50 push-ups live.
There you go.
Ooh, you're probably. I don't know if you're ever gonna get to hit that one this year. Maybe next year.
Nah, this is only good for this season.
It's only good for this.
It's end of the week.
It's only good to the end of the week. Right. Next week, you're gonna have 52. Any last words, Cody?
Nah, man, I appreciate the invite, bro.
Yeah, man. Thank
good
you
being here. I definitely watch y'all every chance I get.
Yeah, man. It's been a long time coming. We've been talking about getting you on, and this was the first time you hit me up. We were on Facebook early, and you was like, "Yo, you going live tonight?" I'm like, "Yeah, hell yeah, come on." So,
family, it's quiet in here. If it wasn't for that, kids running around right now.
Yeah, it was the perfect time. I mean, we had a little cameo here, a little bit from my son and my cat, but you know, it happens. We got families. All of us have kids. So we know how it is. How's your son doing in ball? By the way, he's doing good.
Yeah, he's good. We're in the third round of the playoffs right now. My oldest son actually stayed home, but he's gone this weekend. He's got a seminar going on down in the lower state, so he's down there with some guys he plays AAU with. Shaman Williams, the former Laker, Tar Heel. That's who my son's playing AAU for right now. So,
nice.
But yeah, down there getting ready. We had third round playoffs on Tuesday. He did end up breaking my single season scoring record.
Big man.
I mean, he did his thing. Finished the season around 27 points a game. So
that's not light, man. That's not light work.
Well,
that's some heavy work right there.
Though, I mean, you remember how he started the season. I couldn't expect him to maintain that, but it would have been nice to see him drop a 30-piece to the seventh grader playing junior varsity.
Yeah.
One-on-one, who would win?
Me and my son?
Yeah.
I still got him by a foot.
Yeah, foot.
He still got a little bit, but now if we get into a shooting contest, which is what got me paid playing basketball, he's right there with me. So I mean, which that's all I can really do nowadays is still shoot. So
that's all you got.
I'm proud, man. Let's put it like that. Like I'm extremely proud.
Nice. That's what's up. That's
my
what's
daughter
up.
Be the problem. So
you said what?
My daughter legit. She only 5. But
you just raising a whole team of ballers, huh? Is that what we're doing out here?
Boys, man, they want to spend time with me. They're gonna be in the gym.
Listen, man, I got 2 boys. I'm gonna send them down to South Carolina, and I expect big things when they come back, man.
Hey, bro, let's not hop on a plane. I can come to you.
Say no more, man. Actually, you don't gotta hop in a plane. You're stayed away. I'm in North Carolina, so I'm right in Charlotte.
Yeah, you an hour from me.
Yeah,
be there,
man.
But that's it.
We'll work something out this summer, get the kids together, and get some ball going.
They still up. I'll be right over.
Y'all got a 24-hour gym available?
I think there's a few out here, man. I think we definitely be able to figure something out. So I'm not worried about that. And my kids, they love playing ball. So you know what I mean? I think that wouldn't be a problem at all. But thank you guys for sticking with us. You guys in the chat, if you're still here, hit that like, hit that subscribe, hit that bell so that you're notified whenever we go live. We will be here Sunday night after the game versus the Sixers. And I think, how many games did we win this month? One.
Yeah.
We're still at one?
Yeah, 1.
We're still at 1 game. So we have one more chance to win one game.
5-point leads did we blow this month?
4 or 5?
Is it 5?
No, it's not 5. It's not 5. It was definitely
3, right?
3 or 4. It's definitely 3 for sure. Yeah, it's 3. It's 3.
Blazers, Lakers. Who else was it?
Nets. 28-point lead. 28-point lead. That's terrible. But yeah, man, we'll be here Sunday night after that game to talk more about the Knicks. Hopefully we get a win, and if we don't, we wouldn't really be surprised. But yeah, man, I just
Randall.
Huh?
Always talk about Randall.
Yeah, it's always a good show when you can have a nice extended conversation about Julius Randle. Especially this year.
The therapy after the game, man.
The therapy after the game. All right, man. Thank you guys. You guys, I'll be in the backstage after this. You don't gotta leave. But you guys, if you're in the chat, if you're watching, thank you guys for watching this. Thank you for joining the Guard Up Knicks podcast. Until next time, y'all. Peace.